I am here with the wonderful artist Krystal Dyer.
Hello.
Here at Viva Iriezona, beautiful Hidden Lake, Buckeye. Now, you are not only selling your art here, but you're also doing live painting with all the bands here, right?
With a lot of the bands, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I've had the privilege of talking to you this weekend, and I have to say, you have just an amazing story for how you got to be a professional, full-time live artist and just artist in general, selling at all the festivals. So I believe where we started off talking about your story is a while ago you actually were an animator, right?
I was, yes.
Yeah, you did animation
Yep.
in school. And then can you tell us a little bit about what you were doing in animation back then?
Sure. So I wanted to go to college for character design. They don't have a character design major.
Okay.
So animation was the closest I could get. And
Yes.
I was like, I don't really want to animate, but all right, this is what I'll do.
Yes.
So I went to college for animation. I was offered an internship with Nickelodeon, which ended up turning into a job.
Yes.
And then I animated for SpongeBob, did graphic design for Jimmy Neutron, Cat Dog, Rugrats All Grown Up. And then everything just kind of hit with writers were going on strike.
Yes.
So contracts were kind of like dwindling.
Okay.
So they didn't have any work for me at the moment.
Yeah.
I was getting like 25 hours a month, like something like that.
Yeah.
So I couldn't stay afloat on it. I had to find another job. And from there I went to Lockheed Martin. Totally different, going from like decorating my own cubicle to government warfare.
Yes.
Like completely different. Not knowing what I was doing, like literally went from like dressing like this and having earrings and painting my nails to like having to almost wear a suit, wasn't allowed to wear jewelry, wasn't allowed to paint my nails, completely different.
Yes.
That contract ended, and then I went to a toy design company. I did voiceover acting there. I did pixel animation and helped design stuffed animal toys that talked and weird things like that.
Yeah.
Same thing. I was working on the TV show Lost, and I was making action figures for the TV show Lost.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
you didn't tell me that yesterday.
I did it. I forgot about that part. And then same thing as the writers went on strike, so
Yeah.
there was no new episodes being made.
Okay.
And then they turned around and they said, okay, well, we don't have any work for you. I'm like, cool. That's great. Awesome.
Yes.
Fantastic. So same thing as I was like, I don't know what to do. Told my dad, I just keep getting stuck. Like everything I tried to do, I just kept getting stuck. I just kept getting let down. I had these jobs, I was qualified for them, and then no fault of my own, just didn't have it anymore.
Yeah.
And he's like, you've always wanted to go to California, why don't you try it?
Yes.
I was like, okay. He's like, there's nothing holding you in New Jersey anymore. Get out, go out there. He goes, if you set up the job interviews, I'll fly you out there for your job interviews. And I said, okay. So I set up 17 job interviews. This part I also didn't tell you.
Okay.
I was offered 2. You're probably gonna yell at me, because everybody does. The one I was offered that I did not take, I wanted to take, but I didn't take based on the location, was Fox for Family Guy.
No
and I was
way.
offered a job doing character design for Cleveland show.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so that was like the first one I was offered. I was stoked. I was like, that's what I want to do.
Yes.
And then I was offered Sony doing video game animation in San Diego. And I had to decide between the two. And I personally wasn't a huge LA fan.
Yep.
I just didn't want to live there.
Yeah.
I'll visit, but I want to leave.
Yes.
And I loved San Diego. I just
Yes.
loved everything about it. It was gorgeous. It was more my speed. The people were amazing. The weather was lovely. I was like, that's where I want to go.
Yeah.
So I accepted the job with Sony doing video game animation. A week after I got there, that job fell through.
Yes.
The video game flopped during testing. And they were like, I'm so sorry, but like we don't have a job for you. I'm like, what is happening? Called my dad in a panic, crying. I have no idea what to do.
Yep.
He goes, hon, it's 8:30 at night. There's nothing you can do right now. He's like, go find a bar, grab yourself a beer, find some live music, just sit and chill for the night. Tomorrow you'll wake up, fresh mind, you'll figure it out. He's like, but you're not coming back to Jersey. You're
Yes.
not. I was like, okay. So I did what he said. I found a bar. It was called RT's Longboard Grill in San Diego. It's not there anymore, unfortunately. But I walked in there, I sat down, I didn't know anybody, grabbed a paper and pen, grabbed a beer, and I just like doodling while the band was playing.
Yeah.
During the break, the lead singer came down to me and said, your hand's moving to the beat of our music. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
He goes, have you seen us? I said, no. And he goes, well, that was an all original set, but you're like vibing.
Yeah.
And he said, you should come back and paint live for us. And I said, what's that? He's like, I've seen people do it, just get an easel and canvas and come paint on stage. And I said, okay.
Yeah.
So came back next week, easel, canvas, did it, like started painting live, having no idea what I was doing, sold a painting. And I was like, all right, I can do this for a little bit. And I've had other jobs since then. I was teaching, curriculum development specialist, all different stuff. But long story short is now, fast forward 12 years later, and I've never stopped painting live since that one night.
Yeah.
It started with like every week, and then it was now like 5 to 6 times a week. And the last 5 years, it's been my full-time job is painting live with bands, doing setups like this, selling my artwork, and doing custom orders.
Yes.
So I just fell into it.
And so for people who haven't seen it, you do amazing work. Often when you're painting on stage, you'll do like wave scenes, nature scenes, in addition to your character work. I'll say one of my favorites that you have up is a sunset with palm trees that I thought was an actual photograph.
Oh, the orange one.
I don't even know how you do that. It's so good.
Thank you.
What do you like between the two mediums, right? Because you do the character stuff and you do the landscapes.
Right.
What do you like between those two? How are they different?
So when I'm painting live with a band, because I flow with the music, and I personally don't know what I'm doing when I go up there. I just listen to the music. I usually see a color first and kind of let it go from there. So the scenery stuff is fun for me because I can dance around and it just kind of flows. The character stuff is my favorite thing to do, but it's difficult to do it painting live because I'm a perfectionist with the line quality, and I want like smooth, thick black lines around the character, and I can't get that in 30, 45-minute sets quickly. Especially
you've really got to mull over each little detail.
Right, and that's another big thing is I want to do start to finish with every band. I don't want to touch it up later. I don't want to bring it home because if I bring it home, I'm never going to touch it again. So I do start to finish with a band. When the band stops, I stop. No matter what, I stop, sign it, and it's done.
Yeah. So have there been a couple of pieces that really stick out in your mind, or shows that you've painted at that really are extra memorable to you or special?
There's one that I did, and I feel so bad I cannot remember who it was during. It was at U31 in San Diego, and it was like a sunset scene. It was a panoramic one, so it was a 12 by 36 painting.
Oh, wow.
So it was panoramic, real skinny. It was a sunset scene, and I had some like palm trees, and there was like a waterfall, and then I got an ocean wave. And one of my friends came up to me, and he goes, dude, you should put a surfer in that wave. And I'm like, no, it's going to be like, that's going to look really weird. Like, I don't want to do that. He goes, no, like really tiny where nobody could see it but you. And I was like, interesting. So I was like, I'll try. And he like walked away.
Yeah.
And he comes back. He's like, did you do it? I said, yeah. And he goes, I don't see it. So we took a picture of it with my phone and then zoomed out. So when you can zoom in on the phone, it was this teeny tiny, like almost like the head of a pin, tiny little guy. He had legs and everything.
No way.
And he's inside the little, so that was one of my favorite ones because when I brought it to shows, and I'd have that up, I would tell everyone, like, can you find the surfer? And no one could find him. And I would show them the dot, and they're like, oh, cool. And I'm like, no. And then I would prove to them that he's actually there, and they're like, oh, wow.
No way.
Like, yeah, that was one of my favorite ones I did.
Yes.
Because it was fun. I grooved with it, and then I had that little hidden gem.
So you had these different jobs, and now, like, what you do for a living is you paint with bands, and you're out at events like this, just talking with people and selling your art. What's your favorite part about a career like this and a lifestyle like this?
One of my big goals is to say I painted live in all 50 states. I would love to do that, and that would also allow me to travel more.
Yes.
The more I paint for certain bands, the more I vibe with them, I become friends with them, I learn their music, and that's what means so much to me, is because then I almost become better as a live artist. I get faster, and I can actually jump around and dance to the beat of the music and move the brushstrokes to their song because I know everything.
Yes.
And it's almost cleansing to me and therapeutic to me too. I love it, and I can't explain how much I missed it during the pandemic, and I didn't realize how much of my life was painting live for bands. And I didn't realize until I didn't have it. And I got a little taste of it again, and I cried because I was like, I miss this so much. Like, this was a huge part of my world and who I was.
And is it just the energy and the air? Is it the rhythms that really help with brush strokes?
Yeah, everything. I mean, the rhythm of the music definitely helps too, but even like the crowd, I've painted in places that there's 5 people, and I've painted at places that there's 17,000 people.
Yeah.
And I forget what's behind me. I zone everybody out. I zone the whole crowd out, and it's just me and the band. I just concentrate on them.
That's cool.
And their music.
Yes.
And even last night painting for the late ones, I had a moment, I like made eye contact, and we both smiled, and I'm like, yes. Like, this feels good. Like, this felt good.
Yeah.
It was a good moment, and we're creating together, and we're vibing off each other, and we're an inspiration for each other.
Well, and it's cool because you are creatives and artists of different mediums and can feed off of each other in that way. And that's like the beautiful thing about art, and especially talking with people of a different medium. Like, if you're a musician talking to another musician, an artist talking to another artist, you kind of can get into the technical side of things sometime. But if you're an artist and I'm a musician, well, you can only talk the creative side, right? And it kind of just breaks down that barrier.
Absolutely. That's so true.
So we're at Viva Iriezona. How have you liked the festival so far? What's been your favorite moment so far, or just the general vibe?
Okay, so I've had a couple really cool moments. You connect with people, you see the band, like, you know, like for me as a live artist, I know I'm going to be painting at a show, and I might not be painting with them, but you look at the lineup, and if you are good at what you do, you follow all those bands. You want to check them out. You want to know who's going to be at that festival.
Yes.
So, and people start following you back. But I've talked to people over social media for a year or two now. We've never met. And here, people came up to me and they go, we're friends on Instagram. I go,
Yes.
are we? We follow each other? I'm like, that's cool. And they would tell me exactly who they were. And I go, oh my God.
Yes,
Like, I'm
I
so
know you,
excited.
yeah.
And I'm like, I know you and I know you. I feel like I know you. And it was
Yes.
the first time we got to hug.
Yes.
And it's just like that connection feeling. And it's complete. And it just feels so good. Like I love networking and making the connections with people and just vibing off everybody because we're all going to help each other and we're all just going to grow together.
Yes.
And I love that.
Now, you do paint for different genres. Is there anything about reggae that kind of your paintings end up different or the inspiration is slightly different than other genres?
I will say reggae is when I kind of do more wave art, I've noticed, and I think it's just the flow of the music. I love blending colors.
Yeah.
So doing the sky and just putting some different colors in there and just blending down, there is a flow to it, and I can feel that with the music versus if I paint for like a punk band and my feet are off the ground and I'm skanking for ska bands and stuff, I'm probably not going to do a nice little smooth wave. I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's a little different. It's a different vibe, and
Absolutely.
Most of my most beautiful scenery pieces are from reggae bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. So I love your art. You do hats, prints, just everything, coloring books. For people who haven't seen your art or who have seen your art, what's the best way to find your stuff, get your stuff, and connect with you?
So my social media is Krystal Dyer, the artist. There's underscores in between each word just to be super annoying about it. But Krystal spelled with a K.
Okay.
And then so Krystal Dyer, the artist. You find me on Instagram and Facebook that way. I don't have a YouTube channel or anything yet. People keep telling me I need to, but I haven't done it yet.
In time, right?
Right, yeah, we'll get there. One thing at a time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Krystal. Is there anything else you might want to let upcoming artists know or just fans and of art know
Oh, wow.
about your stuff? Yeah.
Besides doing just painting live, I also do graphic design and stuff like that too.
Yes.
So I do logo work and flyers as well. I'm not just a painter. I have a way larger background than just painting, but painting is what I love to do, and I do a little bit of everything. So if anyone ever needs me for something, don't be afraid to talk to me because I can probably handle it.
Yes. Hit up Krystal, all you bands. She does great work.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us, Krystal.
Yeah, of course.
This has
Thanks
been
for having
wonderful.
me.
Of course.
Hey.
Awesome.
Okay.